definitely if Per can win out his pod, he is in a very, very good position to just
lock up the
top 8 very early.
And we are live from the feature match area, and there are Nessian courses versus the Baleful Eidolon with Fate Foretold on.
So we have Per here on the left side with the red-green deck, and Christoffer playing the black-blue and some white with spec.
Yeah.
It looks like he's
on very much land.
Lands in
and
hand.
A God's Willing as well.
Yes. So 3 lands and a God's Willing in the hand for Christoffer.
And Per doesn't have any really good attacks here. I
guess he could just attack him with Scorpion, but that wouldn't really do anything.
But
so
he attacks with
he'll swing him with the team.
Yeah.
He has nothing to lose, really.
Maybe has a trick or so in hand here.
I'm sure that...
also the coordinated assault lying in the graveyard, reminding Christoffer of its existence, that maybe Per has another in hand.
Yeah.
Think careful before you block here. And now Per actually has Christoffer pretty much where he wants him, because he didn't block the 3/3 with his 2/4. So now Per has put this idea of a combat trick in Christoffer's mind. Christoffer, however, draws another Baleful Eidolon, and
it also looks like a Fellhide Minotaur in hand.
Yeah.
Along with the God's Willing, so he's beginning to draw some spells at least.
And here's the Time to Feed and the Rage of Perforus.
Time to Feed here must be a good play. Just getting rid of the Kentar and then attack with the rest.
Yeah. You mean Time to Feed via the
Scorpion?
Yeah. Still leaves that pesky Eidolon though.
Can't see what the rest of the cards in Per's hand is.
1 Rage of Perforus and lands, I think.
Yeah, he'll go for the attack, and then he'll most likely go for the Time to Feed and have the Rage of Perforus for the next turn.
For the Eidolon.
Or am I thinking wrong here? Let's see.
And Time to Feed, Scorpion, your Centaur. Willfully 2 for wanting himself. Scry 1, and I'll keep that on top because it was a sip to Hemlock, I believe. Here comes the Fellhide Minotaur, keeping up the God's Willing mana here. So Per will go for the Rage of Perforus pre-combat here. Doesn't get the Scry because it fails to resolve. And still the Sip of Hemlock on top, if that is the card that we saw. I think it's a Sip of Hemlock, I'm not quite sure.
If it is a Sip of Hemlock, he'll, with no cards in hand for Per, he'll just slam the block here.
Yeah, and
slam the Sip of Hemlock. Yeah, it is a Sip of Hemlock. Slam the Sip of Hemlock on
the asp.
On the asp, and just start attacking.
Yeah.
An empty board for Per and no cards in hand. And I was about to say that he needs to draw something big, and he manages to do just that.
And Lash of the Whip off the top from Christoffer Neimi. Haymakers coming off the top from both players here, back and forth.
Per has loads of time with only a 2 power beater from Christoffer's side, so he's not in that big of a rush.
That is a Sphinx. It's a 3/5 that scries 3 every time you attack.
It is
a fine blocker. Also a fine attacker. Maybe it's called Prognostic Sphinx. and another Rage of Perforos takes down the Minotaur. Maybe I would have been in the business of an attack there. Maybe coaxing out a block from the Sphinx.
Why?
To kill it off with a Rage of Perforos.
With a card in hand. The Sphinx has an ability where you can discard a card, tap it to give it hexproof.
That is true.
You'll go ahead and do that. And,
see how that works out for me.
See how that works out for you. So, scrying for free here, as the Sphinx attacks, it's very powerful. He can dig away some junk and keep the best card on top.
Yeah.
Freaka's Cur takes care of the Minotaur.
Lash of the Whip, actually.
I'm sorry, Lash of the Whip.
Bringing out the big guns.
So there's a Chimera, the 3/4 flyer.
Yeah.
Just piling on the power in the air here. Pair really needs to find something to stop this. No, and
there was nothing.
Just another Asp there would have been enough, really. Christoffer really would need to find a solid answer for it.
Yeah.
Sure, he gets to scry at least one more round since he can't
monstrosity Asp right away.
But even just digging through 3 cards and eventually being able to draw the 4th if needed might have been enough. But
I mean, he has been playing a lot of removal so far.
Yeah.
So he might not have that many left in the deck.
We saw 2 Lash of the Whip, Super Hemlock, Freaka's Cure.
Yeah.
So
it's not impossible that he has more, but it's
even a Grip Tider of Voyage's End would have been enough.
Yeah. To buy him the time.
Yeah, just to get through the air, but
yeah.
We're all hypothesizing at this point.
Yeah.
And,
that's not what happened. Per died. So Per choosing to consult the sideboard once again. Maybe I want this card, maybe not.
We've been looking at the matchups for each round and trying to figure out which games would be more interesting to see. I looking at the chat here and see some questions, and there are 27 players in day 2 that made the cut, which was at 6 wins or more. There's no pairings up online anywhere that I could think of, or standings.
No, I don't think so.
We'll try to update you here prior to and at the end of the games as much as we can. But sadly, we can't really show you standings other than, well, maybe holding it up towards the camera here.
Yeah.
But we'll see if we can figure something out there.
Per again seems to be with a fairly aggressive deck. He has the 2/1 trample set higher for 2, and
A mulligan for Christoffer here.
I'm gonna go out on a limb and say that unless you're trying to be very aggressive, you don't play that 2/1 trample for 2.
No, you're correct.
Yeah. Per with this infamous dice bag, the tiny sports bag with lots of dice in. Surprisingly amount of dice, actually.
It's because they're all very, very small.
Yeah. Christoffer going down to 6, and being 3 colors, he might be he might have some issues with this mana, of course. So maybe that's what's coming back to haunt him a little. And the Scorpion hits the table. Scryland, finds an island, goes to the bottom. It seems like Christoffer's hand is fairly land heavy.
Yeah, it looks like to be all but one land.
Yeah.
And there's
another land. So
I can't see what the spell is, but it's something black, I think.
Yeah. Let's hope it's a good one. Neimi down on 16.
So pair piles out the power.
A 1/4. That's not what Per wanted to see. And not even with the coordinated assault that he is through, he can break through. So I guess it's just the Scorpion that gets in here, and no lands drawn for Per. So he's missing his third land drop once again.
He can access another free extra green mana from
extra red.
Extra red mana from the Sapphire there.
Yeah. Show 2 cards, says Disciple of Phoenix. And the black card is a Lash of the Whip.
Lash of the Whip and another Disciple.
Oh, okay, so
he has 2 Swamps, a Disciple, and Lash of the Whip in hand. Christoffer.
Yeah. And as Per misses land drops, he knows that he will be taking spells with both his Disciples here.
Yeah.
Per with a Destructive Revelry in his hand, not really.
Still no land.
Still no land, and still no targets for his Destructive Revelry. I think he's shoving with everything here. Maybe he wants to keep the side air for any mana needs. Maybe. And a coordinated assault takes down the Disciple. And there's the Baleful Eidolon, making life hard, even harder for Per. Christoffer starts off with a Disciple of Phoenix though. So he gets to see the Cyclops and what more. No? I was thinking that you might want to show the same card that he already know about. Well, at least Christoffer seems...
that looked like a land.
That looked like a land. It seems like Christoffer at least wants to get rid of the Destructive Revelry, and that's reasonable because he has the Baleful Eidolon in hand. And Per, once again, putting the idea of a combat trick into Christoffer's mind without really having it.
So bestowed Eidolon here on the Disciple.
Yeah.
Makes for an excellent blocker against anything that Per has out there.
Also, soon Christoffer can start draining with his Disciple or his Scholar. Well, the 1/4. Maybe he can start draining for like 2 life points a turn or so, and as his Per isn't getting through for a lot of damage.
Yeah, the amount of damage that pair can squeeze through is just one or 2 points each round, and that's just not fast enough, and it won't even raise the activation from the.
It looks like he has the helmet in hand that makes the creature only be able to be blocked by walls.
You mean unblockable?
I mean unblockable. That is correct.
The Scholar of Atheros is the right card. The helmet that makes it only being able to be blocked by walls can actually means that it can only be blocked by mnemonic wall in the entire set.
Yeah.
So it's virtually unblockable.
Yes. Christoffer going down to 7 here, and pair with Titan Strength in hand, looking to get through one more hit with the Sad Iron, maybe, then finish him off with the.
So that's second. No, it's a God's Willing.
Yeah.
So they get in for 2 more damage.
Yeah.
There will be a.
So the Titan Strength will actually kill Christoffer next turn, unless he does something about it. But Christoffer drains for 2, drains for 1.
And he can also drain for 2.
Yeah, and he also has
the following turn.
Lash of the Whip in hand to put an end to any pump shenanigans here. Just past its turn, and Pad draws a Time to Feed.
You have to be thinking that with the attack now, would you want to try to Time to Feed on the Scholar?
Yeah, I would try to Time to Feed the Scholar and get blown out here by the Lash of the Whip.
No, probably by God's Willing.
Yeah.
And he'll save the Lash of the Whip for an attack next turn.
And Christoffer drains for 2, bringing him up back to 6.
In this situation, you're actually drawing the extra lands.
It's fine for Christoffer.
It's fine since he can even go up to triple activation of the Scholar.
Yeah.
Which it's just not something that pair can raise at this point.
Christoffer fingering his Disciple of Phoenix.
And now Christoffer can even play Lash Whip and Drain with the Scholar.
Yeah,
so.
But I think he's opting to play a creature instead here, and keeping the Lash of the Whip up, or not. It seemed like he was in the business of
the creature doesn't really do anything
no,
for him
that
at
doesn't.
This point. And it's a very controlled Christoffer here, where he just keeps on waiting with the Lash.
Yeah.
Just opting to drain back the life that he loses to the attack each turn.
Yeah.
Just biding his time to have the perfect opportunity to use Lash Whip.
Yeah. The thing is, though, Par is also drawing cards.
It's very interesting to opt to play this creature instead of the Fortune Hunter that he has in hand.
So now the Scorpion ventures in? No Scorpion. and we're far off from monstrositying that Mad-Eyed
Another
Cyclops.
baleful Eidolon for Christoffer here.
So, is he falling for the good old, well, I have to be doing something trap? That's very disciplined, just casting it and not bestowing it. Keeping mana open and getting blockers in numbers out there.
Yeah.
So do we think that Per doesn't go for it? He respects the untapped mana far too much. And now he aims at Rage of Purpose.
Rage of Purpose here is very good for Per. Christoffer will be able to go up to 5 with the double activation.
Yeah.
But actually not having the Scholar out there still completely stops the clock on Per, and also makes it this a very
very tricky,
crucial point for Christoffer to play his games correctly here. Here where he needs to find some way to get damage through while surviving the unblockable attack from Per each round. Christoffer has drawn the Sphinx, the 3/4 flyer.
But he only has 1 blue mana?
No, he has 2 blue mana.
Oh, he has the temple.
The Scry land as well.
Yeah.
But if he plays that, he can't use Lashed Whip, so this isn't a position for him to use it, at least.
No.
He needs to respect the possibility of a pump spell from Per.
Yeah.
He can't play Fortune Hunter just to keep the 3 blockers up.
Yeah.
And still has Lashed Whip for the Satire here.
And there's the 6 mana for activating the Mad-Eye Cyclops. Christoffer going down to 3 here. Still not using the
Titan String.
The Lash of the Whip.
Nyström here is very interesting because it's not dead to a Lashed Whip.
Yeah.
So just moving over the equipment to the Nyström and an attack would actually be lethal just through the
Lash of the Whip. Yeah. Neimi's drawn a pearled unicorn.
Yeah, pearled unicorn.
Or probably not pearled unicorn. That's a revised card, I think. But the unicorn of some sort.
Unicorn of Opaline unicorn.
Opaline unicorn is the name. Thank you.
He'll clog up the board as much as possible, and which is very much needed here.
Yeah. The thing is, clogging up the board isn't that good when opponent has an unblockable creature.
Yeah, Per goes for the attack here with Grasp, and the Titaning Strength is enough to kill Christoffer here.
Extremely disciplined play by both players here.
Yeah.
It was as if they were playing with both with open hands. They both knew what was in opponent's hand fairly well. And we can happily tell the chat that your standings is corresponding to our standings.
Big thanks to Samuel, who has taken a picture and loaded up to Photobucket for us. Keep checking back there. I'll go and tell Samuel that is highly appreciated. So just keep checking back on his Photobucket page, and we'll make sure that he posts the standings there.
Yeah. Per fingering his sideboard again. Seems like he has a Rage Anger of the Gods that he boards in. It kind of seems that it would be more harmful for Per than.
We have seen some smaller guys as well, I guess, from Christoffer, but even like this game, most of Christoffer's creatures actually had 4 more toughness.
Yeah. He did have
sure there's some disciple
of Phoenix and
I mean
the idols.
Are you gonna bring in Anger of the Gods just for disciples? Doesn't seem very plausible.
I might have been mistaken of the identity of the card as well, but it looked like the Anger of the Gods. So this game Per stalled first on 2 lands and then on 3 lands for
ages and ages.
Huge amount of rounds. And
Christoffer just couldn't find an attack plan that was viable, so he just had to play in defensive the entire game. Like the most damage he dealt was through the Scholar. And sure, the damage is good in the end, but just not fast enough. If you still need to duel your board to deal with the onslaught of more creatures once Per actually drew his land. So
also the very disciplined move of sacrificing your salary to get the helmet online.
Yeah, directly.
Yeah, that's impressive.
So a unicorn and a couple of lands for Christoffer here,
and a God's Willing, and a 2/4.
This is probably a keep.
Yeah. Anger of the Gods. So Per probably content here with playing the slow game, since he has the Anger of the Gods in hand. Maybe he's going to use it to. He runs his Nyström Courser out there instead. So Christoffer might be in the business for a 2/4 here. Targeting himself.
Milling himself because he saw the Nemesis Immortals.
Yeah.
From Per.
Which Per actually has in hand now. And another 3/3 for Per. So we're lining up 3/3s versus 2/4s. Or 1/4. And now I think
we have a Dissolve, God's Willing, and a Lashed Whip in Christoffer's hand. So he has some answers, but this is a pretty awkward situation for him where Per will be able to use attack in and trade away some guys.
Yeah, but whatever trick he plays now will be countered by the Dissolve or if there's a, or if it might be countered by God's Willing instead. So Christoffer is probably in a fairly nice position here. Dissolve for that. Scries an island to the bottom of his deck, and 3 damage, taking 3 damage with the Nyström Cursor. Fellhide Minotaur makes a horned appearance, and Neimi going on the attack here. Thinking that the 2/3 will be enough to hold off any attackers. So a double buck here on the Nyström Cursor, and God's Willing to finish it off.
We have the Nemesis Immortals.
Yeah. Christoffer draining pad for 1. A Scryland drawn for Christoffer. Cavern Lampard. Seems good. But maybe Christoffer isn't really in the business for an offensive dude here, with the Nemesis of Mortals on the other side of the table.
He would win a race there, though.
Yeah.
With bestowing the Cavern Lampard on Fellhide Minotaur, and also having the Scholar, he's easily dealing more damage than the Nemesis Immortals going to be able to do. He's not even close to the bestowing or monstrosity on it. He needs 3 more lands.
2 more lands.
Oh yeah, 2 more lands. It's 7+2. So
yeah.
So 2 more lands and or possibly some creature in his graveyard, but
yeah.
At that point, even it still doesn't have trample, so. Some chump blocks from Unicorn and Kentaur or whatever. He definitely has the time to do what he needs to do.
Yeah, I'm thinking that Per is trying to set up Anger of the Gods here.
Yeah,
it will slightly backfire because of the both of the cards in Christoffer's hand, the God's Willing and the Lash of the Whip. If he chooses to, he can play Lash of the Whip on the Nemesis of Mortals, killing off it along with the creatures on Christoffer's side. Or maybe Per is setting up the long game for setting up a Anger of the Gods next turn or the turn after that. So he attacked this turn not to arouse any suspicions further down the line, so to speak. And Kevin Lampard goes not on anything yet. Also, Per has Nylia's Discipline in hand, I believe. So he kinda has five life in the tank.
We don't think that Christoffer has seen the Anger of the Gods earlier.
No, it was boarded in for this game. So no mana untapped for...
There's the Unicorn.
There's the Unicorn, true.
So Per really needs to do something now, or he's facing a 2-turn clock.
Yeah. Step 1 would be attacking with the 3/3 at least. Maybe coaxing out a block from the 1/4 here. But Christoffer is such a high life total that he doesn't really have to block the 3/3.
He can just take these D7 even.
8.
8. I mean, go down to 12. Being able to drain himself up to 14 in his next turn.
Yeah.
And still attacking in for 4.
Yeah. But down comes the big creatures on Per's side of the board.
So the attack here will bring Per down to 6.
6.
You will most likely see a land played in the passive turn, yeah. Per needs to find an answer to the Minotaur now, or he is just dead on board. Or actually, he needs to find an answer to the Kentaur and the Scholar, because the Scholar could kill him by himself as well, along with the Lampard that falls off the Kentaur.
True.
So a big play from Per now is really needed to snag this game home, or Christoffer will have the match.
It's also kinda hard, given what Christoffer has in hand here.
God's Willing and Ashed Whip is enough to prolong whatever he wants to prolong.
Christoffer has put on his seatbelt. So maybe Per is looking to put down the Nylea, the Disciple of Nylea here. Attacking with everything here, because it doesn't really seem like Christoffer can kill off any of his green creatures here. So he can safely attack and still keep the devotion. Next for post combat where he plays the Disciple of Nylea.
He also has a Scorpion in hand, so...
Yeah, exactly. So that's another life point gain for Per. So maybe he's not in such dire straits as we first imagined.
The Disciple definitely screws up the math for that Christoffer most likely had in mind. He'll put the Shumpers in front of the bigger guys.
And Per does the shrug. Oh well, I suppose you got me, or I don't really care here. Are you gonna kill me?
So we get a Scorpion. There's 4, 5, 6, 7. So Per will gain 7 life. This could actually be it.
Something gets killed in response here.
He will kill the Disciple, I guess, then.
I think he's killing the Asp.
The Asp. Oh, that's right.
He's taking
he
damage.
He would gain 1 more life, but...
or even the Nemesis of Mortals.
Yeah, of course. It's regretting not taking taking mana and draining from the unicorn
Yeah.
in combat.
Yeah.
He will still gain 6 life here.
Yeah.
5 life, even.
Bringing up to 11. And there's a God's Willing in hand, so he gets a free quote-unquote jump next turn.
And along with 2 drains, but there's a
drains.
lot of power on Paris board now.
Yeah, and also the monstrosity on the Nessian Asp.
Yeah. So we'll attack in.
Yeah.
Bring down pair to
7.
7, which should have been 6. And with the correct play from Christoffer, with the draining in combat with the unicorn mana.
So maybe Christoffer pulls this out then?
If Per just puts everything in, that one will get to jump. Per will need a blocker now, though. Since the extra 1 damage that could be attacking from the Scholar and a double drain is actually lethal.
Exactly.
So he will need a... No, it is still lethal. He can double drain in his turn as well.
Yeah, exactly.
So he needs to kill the Scholar.
Yeah.
Or handle the Centaur in some way.
Yep. Per just passes the turn.
Drain, and there's the hand. Yeah. Christoffer pulls it off. It was once again close games.
Yeah.
And Christoffer is the only player here this weekend that has beaten Per both times in limited. It's